Welcome to the Sent from Disneyland podcast.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
If it's your first time joining us, welcome. On this podcast, we'll take a journey into the past and explore Disneyland and Disneyland history with mementos, snapshots, and postcards sent from Disneyland from 1955 to the present. The postcards from this episode will be viewable on Instagram at Sent from Disneyland or on my website, sentfromdisneyland.com. Today I'm starting off by thanking my patrons from patreon.com. You can join in and receive mail from my desk or for my trips to Disneyland. I'm currently working on some new patron benefits. Patrons can sign up for as little as $1 per month. Special thanks to Random Olive, the first patron to this podcast, and to the e-ticket patrons Tania, Eric Daniels, Joe Gamble, Scott Booker, Russ Romano, and Michael and Christina Cross. C-ticket patrons Serious Inquiries Only, Debbie Weinstein, Jennifer Schneep, Ruby McDowell, Grace Coate, Scott Cagle, Monica Seitz Vega, Ben and Noel Bruning, and Mary Henderson. B-ticket patrons the Riley family and the Disney Rewind podcast, and to the A-ticket patrons Elise Sharp, Zealot Infinity, Claire Voigtlander, Alexis Robles, Maggie and Henry Byers, Angelica Nablock, the All Aboard podcast, and Ana Fiches de Lectores. I am your host, your post-host Clocky, and today we have 2 postcards sent from Disneyland. The front of our first postcard has the Ernest S. Marsh train engine pulling into Main Street Station. Below the station is the floral Mickey Mouse greeting guests as they enter Disneyland. On the back it reads, "Guests entering Disneyland are greeted by a floral Mickey and the Santa Fe and Disneyland Depot, where a scaled-down model of a passenger train of another era puffs out of the station to take them on a scenic tour of Disneyland." It's postmarked August 13th, 1974, with an Anaheim cancel and an 8-cent flag and White House postage stamp, Scott number 1338F. I assume they visited the park between Friday, August 9th and Monday, August 12th, when park hours were from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. all weekend. The average weather had highs in the low 80s and lows in the mid-60s. It's addressed to Carl Nyman of Denver, Colorado. It reads, "Hello. We're here at Disneyland. We've been here since Friday. There are about 2 million people here. Everyone is fine. Hope you are both okay. Love, Steve, Deb, Fred, and Emil." This week's postcards were chosen to talk about the transitions within the park, and where better to start than the main entrance. Walt and the Imagineers designed the main gate area to look similar to walking up a red carpet. That's why the walkways from the ticket booths in the Esplanade to the main gate area is all done with red bricks. The floral Mickey is also reminiscent of an old Mickey Mouse cartoon, with the image of Mickey's face centered on the screen. When guests walk under the railroad tracks on either the east or west side of the floral Mickey, there is a sign that reads, "Here you leave today and enter a world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy." These 2 tunnels are designed to transition guests from the outside world into Disneyland. Guests enjoy a slow reveal of Main Street as they walk through the tunnel. The transition includes a moment where you only see the inside of the tunnel. This is similar to a crossfade in a film. As you walk down Main Street, more is revealed as guests can now view Sleeping Beauty Castle. I picked up my latest order from Enfield Post, and I forgot all the fun treasures I purchased before her Etsy shop closed down until March. I'm starting to match some of the stamps with the vintage Disneyland postcards that I have in preparation for my next trip. Remember, after March 1st, you can head over to Etsy and explore all the different vintage stamps you can use on your next card or letter. That's ENFIELDPOST on Etsy and Instagram for your wedding and vintage postage needs. Enfield Post is the official postage stamp sponsor of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. The front of our next postcard has Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs standing next to a fence. In the background, you can see the monorail track. Written on the top of the card is Snow White and Friends, and at the bottom is written Visit Disneyland. On the back it reads, "Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs in the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland. Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs take time off from working in their diamond mine to meet new friends." It's not postmarked, but based on the stamp, a 6-cent Eisenhower postage stamp, Scott number 1393, I assume they went to the park in the early 1970s. Let's assume they visited the park on Saturday, January 29th, 1972, 50 years ago from the day I'm recording this episode, when park hours were from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Park hours today are from 8 a.m. to midnight at Disneyland and 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Disney California Adventure. The weather was a high of 70 and a low of 39. Today, there will be a high of 69 and a low of 43. It's addressed to Miss Garvey's class of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. It reads, "Hi, Disneyland is really a lot of fun. You wouldn't believe how big it is. The rides aren't as scary as I thought they'd be. I thought the Matterhorn bobsled was really a thrill. Mickey Mouse says hi to the whole class. Sincerely, Miss Garvey." I chose this particular postcard because you can see one of the park's land transitions in the background. If you look closely, the fence next to Snow White is scalloped and designed for Fantasyland, while the fence near Dopey has a stronger geometric shape and is designed for Tomorrowland. The other hint of Tomorrowland is the monorail track in the background. The postcard's image was taken close to a significant three-way fence transition between Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. The three fences meet at a corner under the monorail and include the Fantasyland fence, which goes from its border with Tomorrowland to Edelweiss Snacks, and the covered dining area, which used to be the loading area for the motorboat cruise attraction. The second fence is a seafoam green fence that protects guests from falling into the submarine lagoon. The third fence is the original Tomorrowland fence, which runs back and would have split the Submarine Voyage and Tomorrowland Autopia from Fantasyland and the Fantasyland Autopia. There are other railing transitions throughout the park. Some are abrupt and link the two neighboring lands, and others have a softer transition. If you look closely at the railing as you transition from Frontierland to New Orleans Square, you'll see a change covered by some bushes as the log fence look changes into the wrought iron fence of the new land. Another note about this postcard: I looked up the address and it is still an elementary school. Next time I'm in the park, I may drop a postcard with the story of this postcard to the school. This incoming postcard is sponsored by the Art Throwdown. Art Throwdown, or ATD, is an online craft hour on Instagram, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. This week I caught the end of one of the best ATD hours. 4 of the regular hosts, including paper artist Russ Romano, attempted to recreate an image of a butterfly on a flower using different art mediums. This was reminiscent of a Walt Disney short feature called 4 Artists Paint One Tree. Each host brings something a little different to each show. I'll list some of the regular hosts, or you can follow Russ Romano 2021 on Instagram. The front of my incoming postcard has a hand holding 2 pieces of mail. One reads, "Send more mail." It's postmarked January 18, 2022, with a Sacramento cancel and 2 postage stamps. One, a 42-cent stamp with Mickey dressed up as Steamboat Willie, Scott number 4343, and the 6-cent Walt Disney stamp, Scott number 1355. It reads, 17 January 22. Happy New Year. Found your podcast and Insta, and as a Disney lover, I'm intrigued. My family and I just spent 2 days in early January. So many changes, but we loved our park visit. Peter Pan is one of our favorite rides. Also sent my first set of postcards from Main Street. Didn't know there were 18 mailboxes. Wow. Mary Carroll. Thank you so much for the postcard, Mary. I love sending postcards from every mailbox in the park. Currently there are only 17, as one was, hopefully, temporarily removed while they refurbished one of the shops in Fantasyland. There are 3 boxes in Frontierland, 2 in Critter Country, 1 in Adventureland, 1 in Tomorrowland, 2 around the hub, 3 down Main Street, 2 at Town Square, and 3 around the main entrance. One of my goals this year is to add a map to my website, sentfromdisneyland.com, with photos of all the mailboxes in the park. Thanks for listening to Sent from Disneyland. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and tell your friends. It would be awesome to share your favorite episode. There are over 100 episodes to choose from. It would also help to leave a 5-star rating and comment at whatever podcast platform you use. If you'd like to support the show financially, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/sentfromdisneyland. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Sent From Disneyland, or on Twitter at Sent From Disney. For questions and comments, send me a postcard addressed to Sent From Disneyland, P.O. Box 44, Hood, California, 95639. This podcast is not affiliated with Disney, the United States Postal Service, or any post office or Disney properties. Opinions expressed on this podcast belong to its host and guests of the Sent From Disneyland podcast.